Hey guys, this video is originally just going to be me ranking the automated abilities of all the bosses in Baldur's Gate 3, however I got very sidetracked and started ranking them about other things, so I'm just going to call this all boss fights that have automated abilities ranking. So yeah, enjoy. It's a bit of a boring ranking. I couldn't think of anything funny for the tiers, so I've just done like the standard S to E Reddit format that we're all so very used to. I've played this game about 11 times now, so I'd like to think I know a lot of these fights pretty much back to back, so I feel quite confident in saying that this is going to be a very objective ranking, and if you don't agree with me, then just stop watching now, because this is, unfortunately, you may not like it, but this is the real 100% official ranking. Okay. I have not made a video for a really long time, never on this channel, and I haven't really made many good videos or edited many good videos in my time, so apologies if this is awful, but I really wanted to make this, so we're just gonna do it. Okay, so to start, we're gonna do, I've kind of ordered them in kind of an organic way that I feel like you generally go through these fights, or the order that I tend to anyway. So the first one we have is the Owlbear Mother. I think this is a really challenging fight, and it's definitely one of the more challenging fights in the early game. I think probably even the most challenging, but I think because the legendary action is like, it's just an additional owlbear, it's not very interesting. I can't rank it too highly. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I've played this, I've beaten auto mode once, and now I kind of play with like a modded game that puts all the auto mode features on, but allows me to still play in tactician, so I'm still on like single save. I'm still not on single save, sorry. And whenever I've played this with that on, even if I don't have, Brenna and her bald brother, that I never remember the name of, with me, and I don't use AoE spells or anything, the owlbear cub always aggroes, and I don't want him to hate me. He's so good, and I love him. So, I'm gonna put this one in C. It's okay. It's not terrible, but I do think the additional owlbear isn't so much fun, but more the challenging aspect, I guess. Number 2, we've got the Spider Matriarch. I remember the first time I played this on Tactician, and I was mid-fight when I realised that you could not boot her into the hole anymore, and that, in that moment, I swear I just went like, what am I supposed to do at this point, because I started playing this game on Explorer, so I was very used to just doing that, and then she just dies, and I'm like, cool, whatever, don't have to deal with that anymore, I'll just get the poisonous robe later when I'm in the Underdark. Also, I think Gossamer's Tomb, it's a very interesting legendary action, but it basically just incapacitates one of your party members, so that's quite annoying. And it does require you to think a little bit out of the box as well, because her health bar is so high and she does so much damage that I think the only real way to like efficiently do this fight is to use full damage and kill her that way. So I think it requires you to think a little bit out of the box and like not necessarily always take every fight. It's probably the first fight where you really have to kind of do that. So I'm going to give her a solid B. It definitely introduces you to a lot of, even when you play not on auto mode, to be honest, it introduces you to that, I can just do environmental kills if you've maybe not played games like this before. The third boss that we have is Auntie Ethel, and I'm really biased with Auntie Ethel, if I'm like completely honest, because I love Mayrina. Mayrina is my favourite NPC in this whole game, and it's purely because you won't be able to tell from my accent, but I am from like somewhere kind of between the Midlands and South Yorkshire. So the accents that I grew up around are very, very similar to how Marina speaks, and it makes, like, I mean, growing up, there wasn't a lot of very popular media with British people where they would talk like anything other than like a Cockney or, you know, a Londoner. So I love that Baldur's Gate 3 has a lot of variety with its British accents. I think that's really cool. Because Marina is my favourite NPC. And you get the hag hair boon, which is very useful early in the game. I will say, I don't know if it's just me, because I do have a lot of mods, but I do sometimes have this bug, and it actually happened to me on my honor mode file, so I didn't get the hag hair, and I was so annoyed, where if you roll the persuasion or deception check, even if you succeed, the cutscene just boots you out and you go straight back into the fight and you have to kill her. So that was annoying, I will say. Although I guess, my good Saloonite cleric sorcerer would definitely have killed the hag. So I guess it fit, but I wanted the hag's hair. So that annoyed me. So I'm still gonna put her in A because I love Marina, and her legendary action is something that you really have to have a tactic to deal with, otherwise you just have a million different hags just rolling around. So yeah, that ranking really had nothing to do with the fight itself, but more just my personal opinion of how she fits into the lore, and the storyline. So yeah, she's going in A. The next boss we have is Draw Ragslin. I think Draw Ragslin might actually be, this might be a controversial opinion, I don't know really, I don't go on the Reddit that much, but I think it's genuinely probably the hardest fight in Act 1, if we're not counting the very obvious that I'm going to come to. In Act 1, that's not the Underdark and the Bound to Pass, like the first Act 1 map. I think it's definitely the hardest. You also, the way that the cutscene sets you up basically is just suicide, so you kind of have to get into a better position and just like shoot him from afar to initiate the fight, because if you initiate the fight in the cutscene, you're just fucked. You're in the worst position ever. And I think this fight's going to be a lot harder when they release the new community update patch, because obviously then he can use the spiders and ally with them. And I'm not going to lie, my whole tactic of this fight is to have one melee fighter on the floor just pushing everyone into the pit. So that's going to suck for me. But yeah, Draw Ragslin, I'm going to give him a B. The next one, this has nothing to do with the fight. I have done it once in my really evil playthrough, the only playthrough where I slotted the Grove, and I was like, what if I kill Bernard? Ultimately though, he is going in E purely because there is no world to me where, besides that really evil murder hobo character I was playing, anyone should kill Bernard, except maybe, again, the first time you play the game and you pick the dialogue option without realizing what it does, but then you shouldn't be playing on mode or single save at that point, so just reload. You just don't kill him. He's so good. I think you have to be a really evil person to kill Bernard, because he's just such a lovely little robot that was made to be a companion for a depressed wizard, and I can't condone killing him, so I'm not even going to discuss this fight. He's going there. Also, if you have done the fight, the lift makes that fight really annoying. Because there's so many floors of that tower, the fight can literally just take up the whole tower. Okay, the next fight we have is Nia. I think Nia is really unique because there are only two, I guess that's not that unique, but there are only two bosses in this whole game, I think. I'm gonna get later on in this video and be like, oh fuck, I missed one. But there are only 2 bosses with legendary actions that you can actually ally with, and they can use those legendary actions against your enemies. And I just think, you know, if you're playing up that I'm a true soul, I'm an evil, you know, person who wants to be part of this cult, then it makes you actually feel like this cult is powerful, that you are on the side of someone who is really powerful and does have these like special abilities that no one else has, instead of, you know, always fighting with fucking idiot harpers that are just suicidal, or the Gondians. You know, I like that about Nier. I think the psionic visages, is that right? Yeah, visages. I've definitely played this game 11 times, I just don't always pay attention to the text anymore. I think I've always gotten quite lucky with this, that he's kind of been sandwiched in the initiative line, so that I have someone who can deal damage to him, he puts his visages up, drops them, and then I've got someone else to immediately do damage to him on the same turn. So it's not been too bad for me. His dominate ability is rather annoying, but again, you know, I think you can kind of kill him fast enough that it doesn't really matter, and the mind mastery guys are really the annoying ones in that fight in terms of domination of your party. So I'm gonna put him in A. Yeah. This is gonna be, the next one is gonna be my first S tier of this whole tier list. Just because I think it really draws on that like retro gaming kind of boss fight, you know, vibes that are just so peak, and it feels like such a challenge. And like the tactic I have for it is probably a pretty basic tactic again. It's to use, you know, command approach. I'm just stand on the thing, drop the mallet, whatever it's called. Yeah, I know words. And I get genuinely stressed in this fight, to the point that no other fight really stresses me out, because I think all the other fights in like Act 3 that are obviously really, really hard are really easy to CC at that point in the game, because you should have so much equipment that allows you to just boost your spell saves to like ridiculous levels and basically guarantee that every spell and CC ability just lands, at least for a turn. Whereas at this point in the game, you don't really have that, so it is genuinely quite stressful at the thought of like not being able to, you know, land that spell, and then if you don't, oh gee, you're fucked, basically. So I'm gonna put him in S though. I don't know why I said though. I'm obviously putting him in S. The loot is fire. The next one we have is Inquisitor Wargaz. The first time I did this fight, I found it so stressful, and you know, this is one of the ones where I'd start modding my game and I'd put the honor mode file in the mod manager to like in the load order, which you're not supposed to do, but it does toggle on the honor mode abilities for all saves and difficulties. So I had actually done this very early on with his ability, and I found it so annoying. Now it's quite easy to me. I think he's quite easy to kill in a turn, so his summons don't really do anything, but I really dislike summons, and I'm gonna say after a lot of playthroughs he is not that challenging, so I am putting him straight to D. The loot is great though, but it's not even his loot, it's like the loot of the crash. I don't know, he's going in D. Yeah. Karnas is next, and again, Karnas, like Nier, is a boss which you can actually ally with. However, I don't recommend it, because it's so annoying to get through the Shadow Curse, and you just have to kill him later, so it's pointless. You can't get the Pixie Blessing. Don't do it. Again, I did it once just to see how it would play out. Immediately regretted it when I realised the consequences of my actions. I think I like the Spindleweb Sanctuary ability, but it is really funny because Karnas loves an opportunity attack, and you can literally just get your melee fighter to take 2 steps away from him, and then he will immediately attack you there by breaking his sanctuary. It doesn't even matter if you can cast it every turn if I have someone constantly getting him to break it, because he loves an opportunity attack. So I'm still gonna I'm gonna put him I'm gonna between C and B. I'm gonna put him in B because I think he's still a little bit better than the Owlbear in terms of like interesting abilities. The next one we have is Oliver. Again, I'm really biased because of the fact that I hate summons, and his fight is entirely summons. You just kill summons until you break down his barrier. The storyline, I think, kind of helps with that. I love the Halsin storyline and Breaking the Shadow Curse storyline that you get wrapped up in, and it is kind of optional, although you'd never really want to miss it unless you're a really bad person. I do like the Shadow plush. He's cute. He's a cute enemy. I'm gonna put Oliver in C because yeah, it's a lot of summons, but I think I like the storyline enough, and it is optional. You don't have to do it every time. The next one we have is the Shadow Mound. The first time I stumbled on this fight, I found it so hard, especially because I tend to rely on archers, and he is immune to piercing damage. So whenever I do this fight, I just bring all my spell people, and we just shoot fireballs, basically, till we get him. I think, again, he has really similar vibes to Grim, where he feels like one of those retro gaming nostalgia bosses, and again, totally optional. I don't think the fact that he doesn't really have any good loot, unless I've missed something in that area, doesn't make him as good as Grim. I'm gonna put him. Does he deserve A? I still think he deserves B. I don't think we can put him as high as A. Everyone's in B at the moment, but I think it's a fun fight. Really, really demands that you not just rely on melee fighters, which a lot of people, especially people who don't play D&D, do rely on, and even newbies to D&D, as a lot of us will be aware of. Anyway, the next one we have is Malice Thorn. I do like Thorns because they're all so threatening and strange and just interesting in their own way. I have done this fight twice, I think, and I have the achievement for it. I like that you can persuade your way out of it, and then even if you just get him to kill the nurses, I think that makes it so much easier. You know, get the nurses to kill each other, sorry, my bad. And he does have good loot. He is kind of easy though, and he doesn't live up to his threatening vibes, so do I put him in C? I guess. Yeah, we're gonna go with C. This ranking isn't really that great anyway. It's the official ranking, but it's not that great. The next one we have is Garangoth Thorn, and I avoided this fight for so long because you can persuade your way out of it, and I think one of my earlier playthroughs where I wasn't playing with all the unmode abilities and didn't know it very well and was on maybe like Tactician or Balance, I think I was on Tactician, and I stumbled into this fight and I was like, I'll give it a go, and I saw her health bar and I was like, Jesus Christ. Never mind. But I think the fight is super interesting because the turn to cold ability again is so unique to any other boss in this game. It's annoying, but it's fun and chaotic, and I'm actually tempted to put this one in S tier because it feels so fun when you do kill her, and especially when you kill all the visages around her, and you realise that she does just have like 6 health and she's just covered in gold. I love Garanggoth. She's going to S. My insane queen. There's a Baldurs. Now this is going to be the part where I admit that although I have played this game 11 times, I have never completed the Thistlebolt Dom fight. I know he has a lot of resistances, and I know he does a lot of damage, and I've attempted it, and I was just like, I can just persuade him, it's fine. I hate staring at this guy as well. I hate that I've given Garanggoth S tier, and this guy is also very unique in his fight, and yet I don't enjoy it, and I don't enjoy looking at him. So I'm putting him in D. Just drink the man to death. It's fine. He deserves to blow up for what he has done and for what he looks like. Next we have Yogir, and this man is terrible. Orthon, even. He's not a man, he's an Orthon. I do enjoy making him kill himself and then convincing him to ally with me against Raphael. So I don't like his explosives. And oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this fight. There is. And he can turn invisible. And it's... I'm going to put him in D as well. Because I don't like this fight. I can do it, but I don't like it. Next up, we have Balthazar. And Balthazar, on my Onomad run, I do have to admit to this one bit of cheese that I did. And I'm not usually a cheese person. I'm vegan and lactose intolerant, baby. But I detest the idea of using explosives in this game. More so just because it takes so long to set up. And I get so bored. And, like, you can only carry so many. So you just have to keep sending them to camp. Or, like, only take as many as you can carry. Or use a potion of cloud... little elixir of cloud giant strength. So, it's too much setup for me when I could just, create water, lightning blast, destructive wrath, done. So this one bit of cheese that I did, back on topic, was that I opened the door, then we all hid in the alleyway. I got him to die to the Dark Justicia, and then I had to fight them. And that's when I learned that there is a huge Dark Justicia Titan involved in that fight, but I had never reached that point because I had never allowed them to spawn so many. So that was interesting, and then I had to go fight them. But yeah, I have now done this fight with the honor bone abilities. I think it's not too bad, although I hate his cloud kill ability, so I do tend to always use elixirs of poison resistance before this fight, except for my open hand monk, who I always take for this fight just for the stuns, mostly for flash, because that man Gollum, just no. I think it's an interesting fight, and he's scary. And you can ally with him, although you shouldn't if you want Shadowheart. So, I would put it in A because it does get me my stress levels up, and it's interesting, and yeah, it's tough. It's a tough fight. So there we go. Then the next one we have is Catherick Thorm. I really debated putting Catherick and the Avatar of Merkel in the same one, but I did decide to split them up because they are technically different fights. I think Catherick isn't too bad, and again, it's technically after, you go into the Mind Flayer colony, that first phase of that fight is technically also skippable, although I wouldn't really recommend skipping it because it does make the Avatar of Merkel fight actually harder, because he has all of his little necromite people around, instead of being able to take them out slowly along with Ketheric, and he's not that hard to kill. But it's J.K. Simmons. I'm gonna put Ketheric as C, because I really don't think he is that interesting. However, the Avatar of Merkel is absolutely 100% without a doubt going in S tier. When I did my honor mode run, it was the first time I had ever done an honor mode run, or attempted one, and I truly with all my heart believed that I would get to this fight and I would be dead, and that would be the end of it, and I was so prepared for that. And then I beat him pretty quickly, and I was just in shock. This fight is like, I actually think this is the hardest fight in the whole game, 100% without a doubt. But it's so fun, and it's, again, it really builds up those like stress and anxiety levels and makes you like really like just clinging on in the hopes that you just make the right rolls, and you know, it really feels intense, and I love that. And yeah, I think he lives up to, you know, being an avatar of the Dead 3. I think it's a great fight, and it does kind of make Orin and Gortash look really puny in comparison. I mean, have you had the Slayer form when you've done this fight? You don't have anything on Merkel. Gortash in his fucking Avatar of Bane phase, nothing on Merkel. Merkel is truly terrifying. So yeah, he's an S tier. Next up, we have got Cazador Zar. I think this, however, is a character that does not live up to his reputation, because he's just a puny Asian twink who is afraid of the sun and the daylight spell. And I think the most annoying part about this fight, Cazador is so easy to kill in this fight. I don't like the little fucking mage skeleton guy, whatever his name is, like Bone Teeth or something, I don't know. But yeah, I hate him. He makes this fight so that I only bring elves so he can't put us to sleep. So my entire elf party just doesn't fall to his fucking charms. It's not Bone Teeth, it's something stupid, but I don't remember it. He is the true boss of this fight. His ads are also, they're not that hard. They're just mostly bats and some werewolves and stuff. Like, I don't know, he does not live up to the reputation, and I'm not afraid of him. So I'm afraid you're going in D, Cazador. And then I've put in Anti-Ethel again, even though her ability I don't think changes at all. It's the same. This fight does not, again, live up to the reputation of her in Act 1. The most annoying part of this fight is the mushrooms. So she's going straight in E. I will get my revenge on you, but it's going to feel so easy, and you're going to wish that you'd left us alone. Also, I allied with her once. One playthrough. I still saved Marina, but I allied with Anti-Ethel, and I killed Laura. And oh my god, it was so not worth it. And the letter you get is so not worth it. She gives me the heebie-jeebies in Act 3. She's going in E. Next we have Viconia. I know a lot of people have a lot of feelings about Viconia because she's obviously from the earlier Baldur's Gate games. However, I am a total newbie to the series, so I don't know who she is. I've read the Wikipedia page, I get it. It probably sucks, but also she does sound like she was kind of headed towards this path, so, yeah. The House of Grief is also one of the hardest fights in the game for me, though. I find this fight so hard, although it's so fun if you're doing Dark Justicia Shadowheart, because she's just so puny when you can convince all of her allies to just side with you. So, but yeah, this is a really tough fight. I think I'm gonna put it in A. I hate the fight, but I admire, the amount of chaos and just how well it fits theme-wise to, they just fucking cast darkness all the time. And she just saves anyone you try to kill. It's very on theme, on brand. I hate the fight, but I have, for all of those reasons, I do have to put it higher. Next up, we have the Steel Watch Titan. I hate the lead up to this fight because I hate the Gondians with like an undying passion. I don't know why. They always want to kill themselves and they really don't do anything to help. And I won't even bother trying to save them all in the Steel Watch Foundry. I'll do my best to save as many in the Iron Throne, but it's every man for himself out here. However, I really do like the loot, and I do like this fight in particular, because I think it's really interesting. It is annoying because he can just regenerate, and he can use this, like, bulwark defense ability, and just, like, protect himself, so it really makes you have to, again, be a little tactical with it, and again, it does have those retro boss vibes, and I love the Gontramail, or however you say it, the Gontramail. I might also have to put this one in A. I'm very biased towards this fight. I hate the entire lead up. Actually, I'm going to put it in B because I do hate the entire lead up to it, but this fight itself is pretty great. Saravak. Now, Saravak is immediately going in S tier because he is the real boss of this game. 100%, the real final boss, especially if you're the Dark Urge. I found this fight really difficult for so long, and then in my last playthrough, I beat him in one turn, and it felt so rewarding and so great. I don't even fight him for Valeria. I hate that little Holophant bitch. She can rot in there for all I care, but I kill Saravok for the pride of being able to say that I defeated him in one turn after struggling with this fight for so long. So, S tier we go. He's also, obviously you can't cast like Hold Monster and things like that on Undead, but you can still stun him, and that feels really rewarding in itself. So again, Open Hand Monk is great. Okay, so for this next one, it's Orin, but I have split up Orin into 3 different Orin fights. So the first Orin we're going to do is basic Tav, or, any other origin that's not the Dark Urge Orin fight. I think this one, I'm gonna say I really dislike this one, and I'm gonna have to put it, I don't know if I'm going to put it in E, but I definitely think I'm going to put it in D, just because I really hate the concept of an insta-kill ability that you just can't save against. I think it's not fun to play with, she's really not that hard to kill, but I think that legendary action being that really makes me dislike this fight a lot. And yeah, also all of her ads have sanctuaries, so it's just like constantly AoEing them, using C invisibility, things like that to kind of get through killing all them, which really takes so much longer. You can kill Orin in one turn, but you can spend a while killing her ads if you're not prepared enough. And yeah, I'm gonna have to put her there for that reason. I really regretted not doing the Dark Urge for my honor mode run when I did this fight. I really did not like it. I again scraped by. Then the next Orin fight version we have is Orin, but you're the Slayer as the Dark Urge. And I think this one's hard. I really feel like this is a very rewarding build up for the Dark Urge, and I love the cutscene beforehand. So yeah, this is going to probably be the same as like Orin as the Slayer, but you're the Dark Urge. But I do prefer her in her human form because one, you can cast Aura's Irresistible Dance on her, and she does such a cute little jig. And yeah, I think this is a lot more challenging than if she's in the Slayer form, which is the next one, which again, it's not that different to the top one. I think I can only downgrade it by 1 for that. I do just find this fight a little easier, so I kind of tend to avoid getting the Slayer form because the Slayer form's really rubbish. If you have it, even if you become Baldurs chosen, it's not that great of an ability. So yeah, I'm gonna put her in A. It's not different enough that I can really put it any less than that, but I do think it's a lot easier, which doesn't really live up to her chosen of Baal image. So okay, the next fight we have is Answer. I didn't do the Answer fight in my first playthrough. I also forgot to recruit Karlach because I didn't know she existed, and I never found her in Act 1, and I apparently didn't listen to anything Will said to me. But yeah, I think the Answer fight is really difficult, and I think he does live up to, he's the heart of the gate, he's the big worm. I think the Baldwin reveal is just so good in this as well. Like, it's shocking. It's like mind-blowing, literally. Mind-breaking. Again, I really I'm gonna put him in A because I fear that I'm gonna put too many people in S. And I don't like the trials before. It does feel like Gauntlet of Shah 2.0 but worse. So yeah, okay, with that in mind, he's going in A. But yeah, the Heart of the Storm ability is really, really cool. And I do also have the achievement for shooting him out of the sky, so go me. The next one we have is an instant S tier, because of course it's our boy Raphael. I love this fight. This is by far the best. I actually think I wish I had created a whole new tier just for Raphael. I mean, the build up, the whole extra location of the House of Hope, saving Hope, the having to look after Hope and make sure she doesn't get hit, the soundtrack, listening to that. The first time I did this fight, I could not stop playing the song just over and over and over again on my Spotify. It is on Spotify, and I do have it in my liked songs, and sometimes it scares me and comes up when I have my Spotify on shuffle, and I don't mind because it's so good. I also really love that he has so much health, 666 health, on theme, perfect, and yet the way that you can just make him do Otto's Irresistible Dance, Hold Monster. My entire fight tactic for this is just using Hold Monster on him over and over and over again every single turn. and eventually killing him while he does nothing. And it's so fun. So, yep, immediate S tier. Oh, I missed one. Did I miss one? Where is he? Where did I put him? I have missed one. I've missed Mystic Carrion. We'll do Mystic Carrion first and we'll do Cortege. I'm not gonna lie, I've only done this fight once, and I really don't find it interesting because it has a whole fetch quest. And there's like 2 whole fetch quests in Act 3 of Baldur's Gate 3. It's ridiculous. I have never done find dribbles. I always pickpocket Lucretius to get the gloves. I don't. I'm really sorry, Thrumbo, because you rarely get saved in my playthroughs, to be honest, and I'm perfectly okay with that. And the fact that it's tied into the Oscar Feverus quest just feels, I don't know, it doesn't fit, you know. It's a very weird way for that quest to go, I suppose. And we hate Oscar Feverus, so I'll never do anything to help him. He can die with the Zentarim, and, you know, yeah, whatever. I hate that guy. I wish I had never done that quest. So, I'm really sorry, Mr. Carrion, because I feel like you would be a great enemy in theory, and you are a great boss in theory, but because of all of those features, does he deserve E? I'm not going to put him in E. I am going to put him in D. Yeah. Next up, we have Gortash. I really do enjoy the cinematic of bringing Karlach to fight Gortash, because obviously you get so much of her like pent up rage against him. There's no reason not to bring her. Also, I pretty much always respect her to open her monk, and the way, again, easy stuns, and you can use hold person or hold monster on him, which is just great for me, because that's my favourite spell of all time, besides always irresistible dance. So, and I hate the explosives. I actually don't like this fight. I'm gonna say it. I don't like this fight. I think he's gonna have to go and see. Next, I wasn't sure whether to include this because yes, dragons have legendary abilities, but he's not really a boss, but I'm including it anyway, just for, you know, just to be able to say that I have ranked them all. But this is the red dragon. I do have the achievement for killing it. Again, it was on my first run when I was playing Explorer, so I don't really think I can gloat about that. I think it's more just an annoying thing that you have to potentially deal with, and you don't even really have to kill it. It's more just something that can potentially knock your concentration when you're trying to get into the crown. I think it's gonna have to go in D, just because, yeah, it's just a dragon. I get it, but it's a dragon. Finally, we have the Netherbrain. I think this fight, I don't know why this fight always gives me so much stress, because I think it is just the fact that it counts down 5 turns. I do like the concept of it being able to, you know, potentially mind break you and stop you from taking any more actions if you've already done something that turn to it. And I like the concept of it building resistance to the damage types it had before. So I like all of those things, but ultimately it's really not a very hard boss, and I think it really does, just as the final boss, really pales in comparison to all these amazing fights that you experienced before. So for that reason, I might have to put him, or her, Our Lady the Absolute. I'm gonna put her in B. And that, my friends, rounds up my unequivocally accurate, official, objective ranking tier list of all the honoured Baldur's Gate 3 boss fights. And I can no longer talk. I have talked for so long. So, I don't think I've missed anyone, but let me know if I have. And I've just forgot. There are so many fights in this game, I truly could have forgotten one, but I don't think I have. I think that is pretty conclusive. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you disagree, no you don't. You're wrong. But yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching, and I probably won't make another video again, so don't worry about subscribing. But if you could give me a like and maybe share, then that would be really great. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye. Hey guys, today I thought that I would rank every single Baldur's Gate